Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 31st of March, 2022. I'm Michael Thompson. Every afternoon, Australia's most popular business podcast brings you the 5 news items that you really need to know about today. So let's jump into it. Story number 1 is, as usual, the markets. And the market ended its run of gains today. The S&P ASX 200 fell 0.2% to close just a touch below 7,500 points, despite setting a new 50-day high during trading. There were a few standout performers, though. For the second time this week, battery materials and technology company Novonix led the charge on the stock exchange, up nearly 10% today. Novonix shares are up more than 20% for the month and 183% for the year. I'll have a little bit more to say on the battery metals space shortly, but overall, it was a good day to be a miner, really. Champion Iron, Mineral Resources, and Fortescue were all among the top performers. Both BHP and Rio Tinto were up more than 2%. Most other sectors, though, recorded falls, with some big drops for the tech stocks, though the worst performer today was Harvey Norman, down 6.3%. The run of daily gains also ended for 3 of the 4 big banks, with NAB the only one to record a rise. But all in all, it hasn't been a bad month. As March comes to a close, the S&P ASX 200 finishes up 6.4% for the month. I can't see too many investors being unhappy with that result. Story number 2 today, the federal government is going to impose tariffs of up to 35% on Russian imports from April 25. That comes ahead of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressing Parliament this afternoon. Russia is going to lose its most favoured nation tariff status, and the 35% tariff is going to go on top of any other existing duties. Now, Russia's not exactly one of our biggest trading partners. Australia imported $311 million worth of Russian goods in 2020, making it our 95th most important trading partner. The top Russian export to Australia is fertiliser, with Australia importing $58 million worth of the stuff in 2020. Now, story number 3, I mentioned battery minerals before. The big news today is that the United States is going to help finance Australian critical minerals projects. We mentioned previously that the Australian Trade Minister, Dan Tehan, is in the US for meetings with the US Commerce Secretary. Anyway, they have smoothed out the regulatory barriers that stop US financing agencies from investing in such projects. The key to all of this is that the US wants to secure supplies of critical minerals like nickel, copper, cobalt, platinum, palladium, and they want to secure them from reliable allies like Australia if they can't obtain them domestically or if they're not produced in adequate amounts. You need to keep in mind that China dominates the production of these minerals at the moment. Tomorrow, Joe Biden is expected to greenlight US government funding to keep critical mineral production at current levels, and so that potentially benefits local companies like Iluka, Australian Strategic Minerals, Cobalt Blue, Lynas, those kind of companies. The critical minerals industry is certainly a growth industry. It's expected to be worth $12.9 trillion within 2 decades. Story number 4 is a rising number of job vacancies. We've said it before, many times in fact, that it is a great time to be looking for a job. Data out today reveals the number of job vacancies rose 6.9% in the 3 months to February, with 423,000 job openings. That's 86% higher than prior to COVID-19. Official unemployment is at just 4% and is forecast to go even lower. National Australia Bank economists say there are now just 1.3 unemployed people per job vacancy, less than half the number prior to the pandemic. And finally, story number 5 is one that really defies belief. If you had to guess how much the American CEO of Intel was paid last year, well, I don't think you'd even get close, because in 2021, Pat Gelsinger received a remuneration package that could be worth as much as $180 million US. That's about 240 million Australian. That's right, $250 million for just 1 year. To be fair though, a lot of it is tied to his ability to turn the whole company around and see the share price jump. But still, I don't really know what to say about it. Staggering, isn't it? That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 31st of March, 2022. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook. Adam Lang and I will be back tomorrow morning for the Friday edition of the Fast Five by Fear and Greed. I'm Michael Thompson. Enjoy your evening.